The song's finished. I'm done.
Okay, that's good. No, that's fine. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Yeah.
I'm banging.
Nice. Well,
How are we all
welcome back.
feeling about?
Wait, let me say the thing.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Early Life Crisis podcast. We're your hosts. My name's Kieran.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Marcus.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
This is our third episode. Third
Is
episode.
it third?
Yeah, it's the third one. But yeah, so last episode we had a bit of a structure planned. Like we did loads of effort into thinking of a structure for different segments. Like we have a movie news segment and an industry news segment, but we ended up just talking about Marcus the whole time because he had something really interesting going on.
Yeah.
My bad again.
No, well, it's not it's not your bad because it's a good thing that we had.
No, but I mean like for ruining the structure.
No, yeah. It's fine because now this is the first episode where we get to test out our new structure. And the first item that I have on the list for how we start every episode is just a little recap on like how you guys have been, what you've been doing the last week. Do you want to start, Luke? Luke, what have you been up to? Have you done anything substantial?
Nothing really substantial, but I've been working a lot on like a few screenplays that I've got on the go. I'm finding I'm getting back more into I guess like writing and with that it's kind of like coming in coalition with me actually watching films again.
Yeah.
Which I
Nice.
kind of stopped doing for a really long time. So
Nice.
I'm watching more films. I watched obviously the film we're going to talk about today. Last night I watched a brilliant film. The screenplay winner from last year, Anatomy of a Fall, which was like
Nice.
amazing. Like kind of
I
lesson.
really need
It
to watch it.
taught me. I mean, like from a screenwriter's perspective, it's like you can't get better than that. It like
Yeah.
I feel like it like taught
You
me
saw
how
it-
to like write.
You saw it for the first time at the cinema as well, right?
Yeah, so I went to the cinema to go see it. So I've kind of been like flirting with watching it for some time. It's been like on my
Yeah.
watch list, but at my local
You sh-
cinema they do like a film club type thing.
Yeah, usually when there's a film that you're like really excited to watch and you've been like thinking about watching it for a long time, just it happens to come at the cinema is like the perfect thing. Like I have to
Exactly,
watch
it felt like it was like fate for me to
Yeah.
watch it. I was like, oh, I have no option. I have to watch it. Because
Yeah.
also when you're like watching films at home, I feel you always have that like excuse to like not to watch the film or to like pause it or to do something. But with this, like you're locked in, you have to do it.
I'll usually just choose to watch TV show because
Yeah, exactly.
a little bit prefer TV, I think.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot more films.
Nice.
And I think with that has come like a new sense of agency to my writing. But yeah, particularly Anatomy of a Fall last night really gave me the get up and go to write films. Because as I say, like any writer, like the cinematography is spectacular, everything else about it is spectacular. But I think like it won best screenplay for a reason.
Yeah.
And it was a very valid reason. There's a few scenes in it where you're just like so hooked in. I think I'm actually gonna watch it again. But yeah, I've got a new film idea on the go, so we'll see what.
Nice.
We'll see what happens.
That's been on my watch list for a while, and hearing you say that might give me the push.
Oh
I
my
need
god!
to
No, I think
actually
you would
watch
like.
it, yeah.
I think you would like love it because it's so like, it's like filmmaking. It's like a filmmaker's film, you know, like
Nice.
which like it's like I could kind of get like how like some people would find it a bit of pudding because there's a lot of like long conversations, but if you want to like do like really study screenwriting, it's like a perfect film for that.
Have you heard of Anatomy of a Fall, Marcus?
Yeah, I have heard it, but I don't know. I've never watched it though.
Yeah. It was
Like, I'm
probably
pretty sure it's quite popular, right?
at Cineworld when we were both working at Cineworld.
Yeah, well,
I feel like I've probably heard it from something like that.
Yeah.
it won and was also nominated for quite a few Oscars last season.
Yeah, I remember
so,
it
like,
being
it has quite a lot of clout to it.
on my Oscar binge. I remember it coming up and it being one that I didn't manage to get to. But yeah, I definitely really want to watch that film. Maybe I'll try and watch it before next episode so I can give you my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
But yeah, no. Anything else? I know you're saying you got some like cool new microphones, right?
Yeah. So I've just I'm working on a new film project, which I won't go into now because I'm kind of still formulating it. But one
Yeah.
of the things I need for that project is like lavalier mics. So what I've picked up for myself, I've kind of done a bit of a purchase, and I picked up a few I think they're called like Hollyland lavalier mics, and they're these
Nice.
magnetic wireless mics that clip onto your shirt. They're like tiny little button type things, and they're really discreet. And I mean they're like incredible sound quality, and they're really good for interview type things. And that's what I'm aiming to probably do with them. So
Nice.
I'm really excited to use them and see what their potential are. I was actually thinking about wearing one today as my microphone, but
Oh
I
yeah.
opted for my actual
Have
mic.
you tested them out already?
Oh yeah, I've been testing out. That's been my day to day, just testing them out, seeing how they
Nice.
work.
I have been thinking recently about like getting a bunch of like film stuff just to help me out with like little film jobs here and there at the moment. Like I guess the main thing is buying a camera, which I think we both
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
all three of us have kind of talked about at a certain point. It would be a really good investment for the place we are at the
I mean, I
moment.
think the thing with the camera is like it's like one thing dropping like what I dropped like just under 150 on these,
Yeah.
which is still like a crazy amount, but like
If you're going to
camera
invest in a good camera, you're going to need to
next
spend like
level.
two k
You're,
probably.
you're at least looking at 2K, and realistically, you're probably looking at like 3 for like a good lens as well.
Yeah.
Like so.
I do. I have been thinking about getting. I was going to get an FX3, which is like
Nice.
decked out FX3 would be all of my savings I possibly have left, and maybe even I would need to start saving a bit more for it because a decked out FX3 is like $5,000 I think. And I was talking to a friend that we all have that he bought that we've been using for all our films in FX30 about a year ago, and he said kind of in hindsight he wouldn't have recommended spending. I think he spent like $3,000, and I think he said in hindsight he wouldn't have really recommended it because it would have been much better to just rent out cameras and equipment or just get a cheaper camera. So I'm looking into like getting like a cheaper camera at the moment. I think it would be really useful for us at the moment, like where we are at right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that's like the real barrier of entry we have right now because, I mean, we kind of have everything else, or we can at least like source most other things like people, kind of other equipment. I mean, and like the rest of it is kind of like what you can do by your own means, like location or whatever. But camera is the real barrier of entry.
Yeah.
That
we're not even camera people, I guess. As well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh, I am.
I meant me and Luke. Yeah, but you're a camera person. Have you ever thought about buying a camera, Marcus?
Obviously, of course.
Oh yeah. Would you know what kind of camera you would get if you were to?
Yeah, I'd want a Blackmagic, preferably.
Blackmagic would be good.
Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K instead of 4K, so I can get the extra range. But
yeah,
that's like I look like a full kit for it, and it's like 2K.
Oh, nice.
For good lens, Blackmagic camera, pocket.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends.
2K, I mean, 2K is
everything.
crazy.
The whole kit. It comes with gimbal, lenses, grip, the actual body camera, batteries, like a bunch of batteries. Like I saw this kit on I forgot this website I was looking at, but it's a really good website that does like cameras and technology and stuff. And yeah, you could buy like a full kit for like 2K for the Blackmagic. I think that's the 4K. If I want the 6K, it'll probably be like $2,500, $3,000. But I'll be happy to get the 4K.
I mean,
what we've used in
4K is good enough.
Well, I'm never going to use 6K. I guess it's just in case. But like the 4K is more like that's what we've used in uni. So like I'll definitely spend $2,000 for the full kit and get like a gimbal and everything all with it.
I think the camera that I was thinking about getting now is the Sony A7. I think it's called.
Oh, the AS7 is also what I want.
I've
looked at the AS7 III.
Yeah.
That's my other camera, but that's like more expensive.
It's a bit. I think it's a bit cheaper than a lot cheaper than the the one I was planning on getting, the FX3. Well, yeah, a lot cheaper. And I don't know too much about cameras, but I've been recommended
Sony AS7
for what I'm looking for.
One of the best cameras you can get for starting off. It's like literally, I see so many videos on TikTok and social media, and then in the comments it'll be like filmed on the Sony AS7, and I'll be like, damn, like I want that. But most of the time it's the lenses to make the difference. Like the camera is also obviously a good part, but you need like most of the time the lenses will be like $1,000 and $1,500 if you want like really good quality.
Realistically, only one of us really has to get a camera, and then we can all use it.
Yeah.
So whoever does it first.
Is it the AS7 III?
AS7 III, that's what I think Kieran's on about. That's the one that I want to get. That's the other one, because the Sony AS7 III is really good for nighttime shooting.
Yeah.
So it's also good for low light. So
that's what I've been thinking again.
A lot of films you need to think of like lighting for the camera. And I think it's good for all around lighting.
At one point actually at uni. It looks familiar and it sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure we got it out for a film, Luke.
Yeah. I feel like I've used that before.
I think it's a really nice for something last year. Film.
Yeah, probably. Actually, I think you are right. I think that. I really like the Sony ones. I mean, I'm also like a novice, but everything I've heard about Sony cameras has been really good.
I feel like if I just had a good camera, I could use it all the time and get really good at using a camera. Because I don't know. I still, as we talked about, I think like an episode ago, like I still don't really know camera settings and stuff too well. All that stuff really confuses me, but it's something I've been trying to teach myself about recently in the last week. Ever since we had that podcast episode last week, I've been looking into cameras. It got me really interested. It was very motivational what you did, Marcus. It was very cool.
Well, I'm hoping I get the job.
Yeah.
If I get the job, I can give you more. Maybe I can get you guys in.
Yeah. Yes. If you didn't listen to the last episode we did, basically Marcus was a cameraman for Liverpool Fan TV, and he went to the Liverpool game against Chelsea last week, which do you want to has anything new happen? I know you've been like doing a lot of stuff today, and you're like,
I mean, I'm just basically getting everything ready to apply for the job, really.
So that means have you decided you definitely want the job and you want to move to Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm gonna relocate to Liverpool if I can. Only if I get the job. If I don't get the job, I'm not gonna relocate.
So,
I can't lie, I don't want to fully relocate, only because like I'm not ready to move out and start spending money on rent and waste money.
Perfect opportunity, really.
But like at the end of the day, if I work at Liverpool, then I'm just gonna. It's like £500 for rent, so it's not that bad.
What took you to that decision? Because last week you were, I think you were like flirting with that idea, but you were pretty far away from. That's quite
I just love Liverpool, man. I actually
you just think it's
like watching all the Liverpool games. I'm just like I just sit there and I'm just like, bruh. I was there.
There's only been one game since.
There's been 2 games. RB Leipzig in Champions League.
Oh yeah, you did have Arsenal. That. I was like,
but
I mean,
still like, it's just thinking about it. Just like every time I just see Liverpool play now, I'm just like, fuck. Like I was there. I was like filming that. Well, not filming it, but like I was like at the stadium. I mean, like obviously, part of me is just because I'm a massive fan of Liverpool, but like also, I just know that it's actually a job that I would genuinely just. I would do that like Monday to Sunday. I'd work. I might as well try now and not give it like another season and wait like a year. Like I might as well just keep like at the end of the day.
Is there a job now?
What? Not. Well, I emailed Melissa today, so I'm basically getting everything all ready, like my LinkedIn profile, CV, cover letter, all this stuff. I'm just getting all that ready. Not saying I'm going to use it anytime soon, but like just potentially in case she replies back and she's like, yeah, there's actually a job opportunity available. Like, would you be able to send your CV and stuff? Like, I want to be able to be like ready. So I'm just trying to get everything to a really good standard. Like I've been working on my resume literally all day today, like to a filmmaking standard. It's just my filmmaking one. But I mean, yeah, I'm just basically trying my best to be prepared for what happens. And even if like there isn't any opportunities, I can still look at like potentially maybe getting camera opportunities for another clubs, like maybe Chelsea or Arsenal in London or something. Like maybe something a bit closer so that I don't have to relocate just now, but I still get experience. And then my end goal is eventually to work for Liverpool. Like,
if that's your end goal, you may as well just work at another club for a while, and then you can go on to Liverpool later.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm going to do. If I can't get this Liverpool job, then it's not like I'm going to wait for it. Like, if I can't get it, and if she says like, "Oh, there's no job opportunities for a while now," I'll just be like, "That's fine." Like, I'll start looking at other clubs, and just even smaller clubs, maybe Championship, Champions.
Go work for Palace. I'll be really jealous.
Work for Crystal Palace. Yeah, honestly, I'd be happy to do that.
Bro, I spoke about Crystal Palace last week a little bit, and I just like to say that I was complaining about how we hadn't won a game, but we won our first game a couple of days ago, which is very I'm very happy. Yeah.
I'm proud. Mateta is back.
Yeah.
He's back in business. They need to create a song for him.
But now that would be so crazy if you move to Liverpool. Though, how are we gonna do anything? You're gonna be so far.
Well, no, that is part. Like, trust me. Like, I'm stressed about that too. Like, I am like logically, it's scary, but then it's also like, if it's a job that like, if I'm making, I don't know how much the pay is, so I don't know. Like, it will obviously be a salary job probably. So it's like, if I'm making enough to actually live in Liverpool, and obviously up north is so much cheaper than like south. So it's like Liverpool. I looked at places at Liverpool just anyway, and it's like you could find like a really nice, like 1-bedroom flat for like £700 a month, like really luxurious.
For £500 a month, I'll move in. I'll move to Liverpool with you, man.
Bro, that's like you could definitely find. I mean, Kim was looking for it, and she thinks she found a 2-bedroom apartment that was like, again, really nice. Like, it's like a nice little flat for Liverpool, and it was like £1,000 or like £900, which would be like £450 each.
Yeah,
and it's just like, if that is it, if that's how much like how much it will be. Obviously, the only thing I'm gonna hate is being far from like everyone. Like, that's gonna suck. Like, I'm gonna genuinely have to like, what am I gonna like? I'm gonna have to like socialize and meet new people or something. But like, I don't really. I mean, obviously I will because I need to. But like,
well, I'm sure you'll make friends at the Liverpool job if you start.
No, I will definitely make friends.
You'll
but like,
become friends with all the Liverpool fans.
I've kind of made all my friends I want. You know what I mean? But like,
such
obviously,
an
I will meet
introvert
more
thing
people.
to say.
But like, I'm happy already with the people I've got.
I already know too many people, man. I don't have to meet more people.
No, bro, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's just like, no, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm being negative, but like, you know what I mean.
No, I get it. No, but
it's just like, because I'm gonna be so far from all my family. I'll be far from you guys. I'll literally be. You're the furthest away from me.
Yeah,
in Brighton. Like, that is literally the furthest you can. Well, maybe not the furthest, but like, that's the furthest south.
I'm on the very edge, on the sea.
So that's like a 6-hour train journey.
Well, if I wasn't locked into my current contract, I'll move to Liverpool with you.
Yeah, but well, you never know. Like, maybe it'll be in a year's time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, talk to me a year from now. I'd be.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
£500 a month.
But I'm trying to be prepared.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good. And you've been working on your CV, which has been quite difficult doing an industry CV, right? When you haven't done any industry jobs yet.
Wait, there's no. I've literally haven't been employed at all, except for one freelancing job that I did.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, it's so weird putting together a CV where you just have like nothing.
It's because it feels like we've done so much, but it's all just been uni.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just all of my education, and I'm like, when it comes to like, I'm using like a template, and it's saying like employment history, and I look at that, and I'm just like, I can't really put anything because I haven't ever been employed, and it's like, that is kind of what a CV's for, is to show like what you've worked, like what work you had previously.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've kind of just changed it to professional experience. So like,
nice,
I've kind of just put like all my professional experiences that I've done, and I've named like my freelance job that I did for the music video, which was the live performance. That was technically paid, so that actually was a freelance job that I had. But then obviously I just put like My Fourth Wall, Hello Goodbye, and all that stuff underneath it, and just like said grad films.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just trying to make it as prepared as possible. Really, that's my goal at the moment, to be honest.
Nice. I redid my show reel the other day, which I'm really happy with. I've just been looking,
I like your show reel.
That was good. That was good. That was a good show reel.
It's cool. I subscribe to this thing called Artlist, which basically gives you like unlimited like free music to use on your projects, which you might recognize from our new that I've just added in our new like intro to the podcast. We've got a cool little intro music going. But yeah, I found one of those. I don't. Have you even heard it yet, Marcus? Have you heard our intro music?
No.
Well, when you listen to the podcast and when they start coming out, you can hear it. It sounds pretty good.
I'm gonna wait till the podcast is done before I listen to anything. I want to hear it fresh and raw.
Yeah, but no, I've been finding loads of music on that, and it's just been motivating me to edit quite a lot. I edited my show reel, and I just spent last 2 days editing a YouTube video for my personal YouTube channel, which is like a little vlog of my whole time in Vegas when I went out there with my dad, which it was so fun. I'm really enjoying editing right now. It's especially when you can't go out and film. It's just good to have stuff to edit because it feels very productive and it's fun.
No, editing's sick, man. I love editing.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the next segment in the?
Yeah.
Anyone got any more to? So my next segment was industry news. Now I think I didn't actually add too many things. We got Kid Cudi has joined the cast of Happy Gilmore 2.
I saw that.
What?
Which
yeah.
Also
what do you mean Happy Gilmore 2?
You didn't know they were doing a Happy Gilmore 2?
I didn't realize they were doing a Happy Gilmore 2. So
What do you mean?
2 steps
Happy Gilmore 2, man. They're doing a sequel.
You're not trolling me, are you?
Travis Kelce's in it.
No way.
Yeah.
No way are they doing a Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, no, it's sick.
My God.
I thought that was a bit of an overreaction. What? I didn't realize that you were that big of a Kid Cudi fan, but I guess you're more.
Oh no, I don't care about Kid Cudi.
Happy Gilmore 2.
No. I mean, no, I'm joking. I love Kid Cudi. No.
And I guess the main thing that I have on
Happy Gilmore 2, what the fuck? Sorry.
The main thing I have, I only have one other thing on my industry list. I had much more last week, but we didn't end up doing it last week. But the main thing on this list is that the 28 years later, they've finished. I think they've wrapped filming now, which obviously we talked about on one of our podcast episodes that ended up not getting finished, but they shot it on an iPhone 15, which is pretty crazy. We were talking about we were talking about like getting cameras earlier, but it turns out we could just buy an iPhone 15, and then Marcus, you already got like
I got the iPhone 15 Pro. I could actually do it.
Yeah, that's the camera they use for. But then if you look at the pictures on set, it looks like a camera. They've got so much stuff on it.
That's what I was going to say. It was like a bit misleading at that. Like,
yeah, but they did use an iPhone.
You look at the picture and it's like,
which I think is really interesting because the first 28 Days Later film was shot on, I think, like a really old Sony, and it like doesn't really hold up with like it, at the time it was like a really bad camera. Like even our iPhones, that like my iPhone that I have, which is like I can't remember, I think it's 13. It is way better quality than the 28 Days Later. But I think it's cool that Danny Boyle's like pushing the limits again with like he wanted that cool like old feel to the first one, and now this one he's switched it up again, and he's gone with an iPhone 15, which is crazy.
What? Sorry. I'm looking up this Happy Gilmore.
doesn't care.
No, in the cast there's baby Bobby Gilmore.
Oh, really?
There's a baby Gilmore.
Damn. Well, it makes sense.
He's gonna have a son.
Yeah, that does make sense.
I'm just trying to find out.
I'm excited. Happy. I don't want it to be bad, but I feel like it makes sense.
I don't understand how they're doing a second one.
The first one was.
I'm a massive fan of the first one. I love the first Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
that was like a childhood film for me. So it's like
I watched it.
I don't want them to ruin this.
Me and Marcus have been really into golf recently, so like I watched them. I rewatched it recently because I rewatched it very very recently.
Just tap it in.
It's a good film. I'm excited for the second.
I'm done with that segment of Happy Gilmore.
I hope they don't mess it up, to be honest. But
if they messed it up, I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, we could just use our iPhones to make films. We don't actually have to buy a camera. Exactly. We can use Marcus's phone.
Yeah. You can connect a hard drive up to my phone. I'm pretty sure, which is like the
exactly. You can put a hard drive on like most phones now because you just like USB Type-C, and like the camera quality is not like fully there, but it's like I don't know, if you're just doing some like short type projects, I think it's
Yeah,
definitely like usable. I know for Monkey Man they used an iPhone for a lot of
yeah.
the shots, a lot of the cinematography there, because one of their cameras actually broke on set, so
Oh, really?
they needed to get some footage, and they had to use like Dev Patel's iPhone. Um,
We
that's the
we
only camera that they had. Like so,
that we were doing some B-roll for the most recent film we did called the to-do list, and we were shooting in Sainsbury's, and we were too like nervous to like get out the camera and start doing like we were going to do it like guerrilla filmmaking, and we were too scared to bring out the camera. We got nervous, so we just used our phone. So there's one
nice.
shot in that film that's done on an iPhone. There's been lots of films that have been done on an iPhone. I think this one was just so substantial because it was it's like the biggest film to ever do it. Like
Yeah,
the budget was $75 million, and they used an iPhone, which is crazy.
What?
But yeah,
I
well,
mean,
maybe we don't need a camera. Maybe we can just use our phones and like make films. And
Well,
yeah,
cameras are
I,
phones again too advanced now.
I think what we were talking about last time is it feels way more like if you show up to like a filmmaking job and they're like they've hired you and you just pull out your phone, it just feels very
exactly.
unprofessional.
You can't like,
You have
yeah,
to bring out yeah,
it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It just doesn't quite
yeah. It's still
like it
effective,
doesn't.
but then
Especially
people
people like who don't like really like view like oh they're not into like cameras and stuff.
yeah,
Like if I saw like someone like pull out an iPhone, I would be like,
yeah,
I don't think that's gonna be as good as
yeah,
what it
yeah.
could be. Like um and for most people like me, like normal people who don't know much about
Well,
cameras,
you can get
it does just
lenses.
look. Yeah, I have seen some of those lens kits.
Like
They
you
look
can get like
really
a
good.
sick lens kit, and then
Yeah,
it'll make it look a little bit more professional.
yeah.
It
I
must
think yeah.
it must be so weird to be on a set like that big of a set and they're just using a phone.
Yeah.
You literally have the
Yeah,
same
but
thing in your
I
pocket.
reckon they probably have like surely because I've seen like a few people like film short films on phones, but like to me, when you think of filming on a phone, you think you're just holding the phone like horizontally.
Mm.
But like I've actually seen a lot of like there's like obviously you know what they had on as Time Stood Still when they had that editor she had that gimbal for the phone.
Yeah, yeah. That
Like
was
I think they must have used like surely some like sort of equipment like a
no,
gimbal
they
like
did.
that,
Yeah, if you see the
and then
pictures, it's
lenses as well on the phone to like make it even better.
I've seen lots of pictures of the set and like there's you can't even tell it's a phone. There's so much like crazy
Well, 'cause I
crap
guess they
on it.
need wireless monitors as well and shit like
Yeah,
that to like make it actually like worth its time,
yeah.
and like hard drives plugged into the phone so it doesn't
They
lose
made
its performance
they
instantly.
made everyone on the set sign an NDA to like, not disclose. It's only just been disclosed recently, but like for a while they no one was allowed to say anything about it.
So that so then that way when the audience sees the film, they won't judge it for it being
Mm.
on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think
Well,
it's just interesting at this point. Like, I kind of wanna. I'm interested to see
Well,
it.
I would rather not
I'm
I
know
haven't
curious.
seen
and
the
then
first
watch the film and then find out afterwards. Because
one. Yeah,
I mean, actually, I guess I would also know and watch the. I'd want to know and watch the film, but like, I feel like if I knew and watched the film, I'd like it'd be like a different way of watching it because I'd be like watching the shots, being like, no way is this shot on a phone.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, I'd rather be like blown away and be like, whoa, that was a shot on a film. You know what I mean? A phone. I mean?
Imagine just in like fucking 20 years from now, everyone's just using their phones to make films. No one uses
I
cameras
wouldn't
anymore.
be surprised, honestly. Like each year, they're just getting better and better and better.
If that's even who knows what the future of film is going to be. Like, it could be
AI.
VR. Hopefully not AI. It could be
Hopefully.
VR. I'd rather it be.
Yeah.
But imagine all films from now on are just like in the future, just like completely immersive. Like that'd be crazy. Which I think after me and Luke went to the Apple store the other day. And if you go into the Apple store, you can book like a 20-minute demo of the Apple Vision Pro, which me and Luke got to test out, and it's the quality of that was insane.
But on,
Like,
on that point of like films being like fully immersive,
yeah,
I've kind of like had this argument before. Like that I just like I don't think that's like a film anymore. I think that's like a new thing, you know? Like
yeah,
like I feel like and I'm not like discrediting it. I think it's like as cool as a film. But I just think like if a film is fully immersive, that's almost like a new piece of media, which would be really sick. Because if we view films like is kind of like the newest like piece of art form. So it would be really interesting to see kind of like an evolution of that, evolution of the like a moving picture where it's like a moving reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even think that's a film at that point if it's like fully immersive, because a film you're supposed to kind of be a third person, but if a film is fully immersive, then
Well,
you're
maybe
no
they
longer
could
like
make a new
third
genre,
person.
a
Yeah,
new genre of film to be like fully immersive film, like fully immersive, or like I don't know. There can be like a obviously not now, but I mean in the future, like if they ever do films in VR, it can be like a genre because obviously
yeah.
they have to film it in a specific way, surely, to like match the immersiveness, right?
Well, that's what
Like
I'm saying.
maybe
It like
your
changes
character
it
instead
like
of first
changes the
person, you're like
process.
first person character.
It's almost like more like a mixture of like a video game and a film, at that point, which I think could be fucking super interesting. And yeah, I think immersive cinema is going to get like a lot bigger in the coming years, because I think that's going to be a way to get people to go to the cinema, like things like I mean you saw it the other whenever you went to Las
A
Vegas.
year ago from now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was a
think
year
so.
ago. That's
Yes, it was literally exactly a year ago. I would have been coming back from Vegas.
that's crazy.
I
But
thought
yeah,
you
I
went
got to
in.
see the I got to
But
go to
I
the
thought you
Las
went to
Vegas
Florida.
Sphere. Yeah.
yeah, when like
Which has-
technology like that gets more
yeah.
like kind of universal, I
Has
think
this
like
16K resolution of that screen, I think.
that's insane.
Well, that's
You
what
can tell.
the closest thing I've had to that is like, yeah, well, like I was saying, the Apple Vision Pro, like when we tried that out, it reminded me
Yeah,
of the Sphere. Like it felt like you were actually like there, which is
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's just
Oh,
crazy. The
imagine. Oh, sorry.
no, sorry. Well, you can go.
I was just gonna say, imagine hardcore Henry, but in VR.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like
No,
that'd be sick.
it would be really interesting to see the future of what
Yeah.
what happens with all that stuff, because it could
Yeah.
who knows what the films are going to be like in the future. I'd rather they be in VR than they be all AI generated.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah. I mean, I like a future where you get like both, like you get like traditional films and you get like VR films. I think there's like a role for both of them. And I think there's so much potential with immersive cinema. I even think just like past VR, like having cinema that you interact with. And I feel like even like the MCU is kind of an early version of that, because it's like more than one film, and because it's this whole almost like cultural thing. I mean, it is a cultural thing. It's kind of past like cinema, like, and it's like almost its new thing, which I know like is the whole like Martin Scorsese like theme park ride thing, but like
Yeah.
like I've always taken that like in a different direction to Martin Scorsese, like where he's like that's negative. I actually like think that's kind of cool that it's like a different thing, and like I think like all of these like modes of like cinema have their own space in the industry and like for filmmaking.
Yeah.
But I wanna see
I mean,
how
I
that
love him. I love the MCU. I mean, it's terrible, but like I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. I love it. I think it's just so.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to go to the cinema for something that's like an event, and it's like
Well, that
it's like you're excited about the. I mean, comparing you can't really compare it to like other films, but like they are just fun. Like sometimes it's
That-
nice to just chill and just watch a fun film rather than have to think about something.
yeah.
It's like that, which I get the comparison with theme park rides. It's like,
yeah.
but there's nothing wrong with that. Theme park
Well,
rides.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think it's a bad thing. I just think it's like a thing,
Yeah.
like theme park rides are a lot of fun, and they give you like a kind of energy and like emotional release in like a different way to like a lot of like a I know like a piece of art, like a canvas piece of art, but they both like can be emotive in different ways, and I think there's place for both of them. Like there's place for like both kind of the Scorsese films and the Marvel films.
Yeah.
Although I've got a bit of like movie news
Mhm.
because I was looking into this new film that's coming out soon. I think it's like one of the Christmas blockbusters, and I wanted to get your guys' take on it. And it was basically it's this. I think it's called Red One, and it's
what is that? The Ryan Reynolds?
No, so it's not Ryan Reynolds, although it like looks and feels exactly like the Red Notice film that came out a few years
Red
ago.
One
That
was
was Ryan
also
Reynolds.
or is it The Rock?
No, it's The Rock. It's The Rock and Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Wait,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
it called?
Yeah.
Chris
Film?
Evans.
Red One.
Red One. Yeah.
Wait, is
And-
this the one you're on about, or is this a film similar to it?
No, so this is a film that I'm on about that's coming out.
Oh,
I knew it had Chris
December.
Evans and then one of the actors from Red
Yeah,
One.
Yeah. Well, it's The Rock, and he's actually who I want to talk about because it's kind of inspired my new continuing, not new, I would say, continued hatred for The Rock. Because I've been hearing a lot of
I know what film you're on. It's got
The-
Chris Evans, and it's got.
Yeah.
I say it's got J.K. Simmons, isn't it?
J.K. Simmons is playing Santa.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so I think like the basic premise of the film is like J.K. Simmons gets kidnapped. I don't know, as Santa, and like him and Chris
Oh.
Evans and The Rock have to like rescue him. But
You know who else it's got?
who else has got in it?
Mary Elizabeth Ellis
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
from
Good
Always
to
Sunny.
Yeah, so it's-
obviously, I'm sure you guys
I
know
mean,
her.
it's got like it's got a pretty stacked cast from what I was looking, and it's worth noting because the budget is I can't remember the exact budget, but it's over 2 mil, 200 mil, and 1/4 of that
It's
of
250
that
mil.
budget, 250. Okay, so 1/5 of that budget is going to The Rock's salary. Who's
really?
getting paid 50 mil,
Jesus.
and it's the most an actor to date has been paid for
Really?
a single project.
That's
And
crazy.
apparently he's
I didn't-
turning up late on set every day and being rude to other cast members and pissing in bottles and giving it to his secretary
What the
to
hell?
get rid of. So yeah, it was just inspired by
don't think
kind of
The
hatred
Rock's-
for this.
I don't think The Rock's that good. I used to kind of like the Central Intelligence kind of period, Tooth Fairy,
Yeah,
but like I don't know. I'm not really the
I
biggest
think
fan of him
I
anymore.
think ever since Black
the
Adam,
fact he's
he's got
still
really
getting paid that.
obnoxious.
Yeah,
I know.
the fact he's still getting paid that much is
Apparently,
Well-
he's being paid 50 million.
Yeah, and apparently they've also had to pay for another 50 mil on top of that, or close to that, to just like kind of like sweep up behind him all of his discretions, like on the production, like turning up late and shit.
Chris
and
Evans
that, I
deserves
think-
it more. I think.
100%.
Chris
I
Evans.
think Chris Evans is way more.
Well, Chris
like,
Evans is an
he-
actual actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Apparently-
really he's really cool as well. Like from interviews, he's quite funny.
but
yeah,
what I
apparently
wanted to,
40 millions was what Robert Downey Jr. got paid. So that was the previous highest.
What
And then
from
the highest
And
for which
before that
for which film is that?
I think
for?
that was
for,
Civil
for
War,
Captain
wasn't it?
America Civil War.
yeah.
Surely,
And then-
surely he's getting paid more than that for.
Well, I was gonna
the-
say
the Doctor Doom.
this like it's gonna be short lived because he's gonna get paid 100 mil, I think, for Doctor Doom.
Mm.
It's his
Jesus.
salary, and then the Russo brothers respectively are getting 80 mil,
That's
which is
crazy.
insane. But,
But the
what I
film,
wanted to
will,
talk to
the
you
film
about-
will probably make. They will probably make a bill.
Oh my
I don't
god!
know,
Yeah, I
depends.
mean,
Depends on how. I think it will. I think it's gonna be the biggest film since.
it'll make over $1 billion.
Well,
I would think.
apparently
But-
so he's getting paid 50 million The Rock for this film. And then before that, he got paid 23.5 million for
Jeez.
Jumanji,
Oh yeah.
which is just like
Speaking of
it's
Jumanji,
crazy how much money he's getting. Like he literally was a wrestler to start off with, and now he's like a
for the most
full-on
like
actor.
half-assed mediocre like performances.
they've confirmed another Jumanji film. Jumanji
really?
4
When?
is. I think it's been. I don't know if it's been filmed, but it's just confirmed a release date for 2026.
Wait, did you just say Jumanji 4?
Yeah, Jumanji 4.
There's,
there's a third
there's
one.
3 of them.
Is there a
Wait.
third one?
No,
thought
actually,
there
I
was
don't think there
two.
is a third one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Jumanji 3 is coming out in 2026.
Wait, no,
Honestly,
there
to
is
be honest,
three.
I just wouldn't
Is there?
know how many.
There's a
Yeah,
third.
yeah.
one. When
Oh
did the
wait,
third one-
wait, no. It's because I typed in Jumanji and it said Jumanji 4.
No, there
Technically,
is-
it's the third one.
Wait,
The first
next
one's
level.
the original Jumanji.
Oh
and the
yeah,
second one,
if you count that,
yeah,
that's
and then
Okay, that makes
in the Dwayne Rock Johnson series, there's only 2. So it's the first one, Welcome to the Jungle,
I thought it was
2017.
a remake.
Next
but I guess,
level is 2019,
I think it's actually a sequel.
and then Jumanji 3 release date is meant to be 2026 to December 11th.
I'm just forgetting certain films exist at the moment, and like I forgot that Shazam 2 existed, and then I saw like a clip of it the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
"What?
Wait, Shazam
When did that
2
come out?"
exists?
Yeah, I swear we watched that together, didn't we?
No, I don't think.
No.
I don't think it is.
Okay. Well, you worked at the cinema when it was out, so I feel like you should.
Yeah, I think that's what. To be honest, a lot of the movies that came out in cinema, I
Yeah.
forgot about.
I didn't think
because
Shazam
I
2 was
watched it because we watched there. Like films that came out at that point didn't feel like films.
Yeah.
It just felt like work.
It's work, yeah.
Extra
Well-
work. As soon as I found out new film like Top Gun Maverick when that came out. No, wait, was
Oh,
I
yeah.
working at Top Gun Maverick?
I don't think so.
No,
I
wasn't.
think
That
I'm-
stayed at the cinema for ages because it was really popular in Screen X.
I've actually
my,
finally
like-
watched it. By the way, very
Nice.
good.
I
film.
haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it,
No.
bro. Have
Well-
you seen the first Top Gun?
Yeah.
Because I had to
I
watch.
finished
the
it. I
first
think I
one.
turned it off.
No, I watched the first one and I watched the second one straight afterwards, and I can't lie, honestly, they're really good. Like I actually really enjoyed it. It made me want to become a pilot.
Well, this it's not too
Like
late.
I feel like I'm doing the wrong job opportunity. I should be a pilot.
We can turn this into a pilot podcast.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could do it.
Anyway, this this
Pilot.
this is a pretty nice segue into the next phase of the podcast that I had planned, which was the film section, just to talk about what kind of films we've watched recently, specifically the one that we had for. If you didn't watch the last episode, we picked a film that we would watch before this episode in the week between the podcast recordings. Hey guys, Kieran here, just editing the podcast and realised we never actually said the title of the film that we're talking about, so just going to add this little bit in here to say we're talking about a film called Rebel Ridge, and yeah, that's it, back to the podcast. Me and Luke watched it. I don't know, Marcus, did you get a chance to?
Yeah, I watched literally I mean, I only watched the first bit because I mean, I only started watching it today. I forgot. I can't lie.
Okay, yeah.
I know I might have said
wait, did we all
Yeah,
watch
'cause-
it today?
Yeah,
Did you
I
watch
watched
it
it last
today,
night, but I
Yeah,
finished it
I
today.
just finished it like just before.
I watched the first half
we
last
started
night.
recording.
Yeah.
I'm really liking it though. I can't lie. I mean,
Yeah.
I have heard really good things about it.
I will.
Like,
I really want to talk about the ending, but if you haven't watched
Yeah.
the full way through, I don't know what to do.
Well, let's talk about the start because I want to talk about this.
Okay,
The
yeah.
first scene I think was really good. I think it sets up the themes like perfectly, and it also sets up the hatred you get for the antagonist, which I think is the driving force of the film. Is how much you hate all of the police officers in the film
Yeah,
and how
they make you
annoying they are,
realize how
and
much.
then it just makes you want to see him get back at them so badly, and then when he does, it's the most satisfying scene ever. I loved
think
it.
I think it's so interesting, like how, because representation of the police in like modern day media,
Mm.
or like just media in general, I think, especially American media, is always from this framework that even if there's bad police, inherently the police are a
Yeah.
institution for like at least like some kind of good.
Yeah, I've
But it
never
was
seen a
so
film where it's just like
Interesting.
the police are just the villains, like
Yeah,
everything.
and they're not
But then
even
at-
made to be like sympathetic villains. They're just
Yeah.
made to be
Nah, they're just
like
dicks.
these freaky, weird, like dictatorial, like almost like
They have
like just
power.
like stormtrooper-esque figures.
Yeah.
And it's done so interestingly, and especially like how much it makes you just root for that guy. And I fully agree with you. That first scene like hooks you in so much.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't like skip any beats. It just starts straight
don't know
away.
But I do feel like
Yeah.
after we get that satisfaction of him getting over on the police, and then it kind of turns. I feel like after that, that's where it kind of lost me a little bit, where it became more, and it
Yeah.
did feel very over dramatic. But the
It-
main
it-
character was very good, and I think you said last week he's Green Lantern, right? He's gonna be
Oh
Green
my God,
Lantern, and I think
after
he
seeing
will.
That,
I think he'll do a
hypes
good
me
job.
so much
Yeah.
for that performance, because
Yeah.
I think he by far
He was so cool.
the-
He was so
is
cool.
the
He was
driving
amazing.
factor of that film. Like
Yeah.
he is that film.
Yeah.
he
did
just
you guys
makes
know
it
that?
so much better.
Did you
Yeah.
guys know that role was originally and like quite a lot? It wasn't just like he was cast. Some of the film was shot. John Boyega was
Really?
in that role originally. Yeah.
Oh,
Before he had to drop out for scheduling or whatever
yeah.
reasons he dropped out for. But yeah, I feel like that would have been just such a different film because of how much Aaron Pierre really takes that role into his own.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
was just
definitely
so he was
the
just so
best part of that
cool.
film.
He was so cool.
He's
It
just
felt he
yeah.
felt like it was like he kind of gave me like John Wick vibes of how like
yeah,
how cool he was.
and
it's
like
over,
his,
you know.
Yeah,
his
yeah,
tone,
Over.
yeah.
he has like a consistent tone throughout the whole film that almost like makes it like you hate the police more because
And because he's so
so
nice, and
nice
and I love how he doesn't kill anyone. It just made the
Yeah.
fight scenes like kind of more interesting because he like every single person he fought, he like took them down without killing them.
Is it just because obviously I haven't finished it either, but like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he kind of gives me the vibes of like Liam Neeson in Taken. Like not completely, but like
Well, I get what you mean. He
how
kind
he's
of
like
has
his
that like.
coolness.
I mean, he's very
Like,
archetypal of
how
those
just
characters.
he's just
like
sick.
John Wick, Liam Neeson. I can't remember what his name is in Taken.
No, that
Liam
is his
Neeson.
name. Oh, right. I thought you
In
meant, like,
yeah, no,
no, I
yeah.
don't know. His name. No.
Like he has Jason Bourne. Like
Yeah,
he
like
very
Jason
much
Bourne. That's a
follows
good.
that. He follows like the tradition of that kind of like male lead in an action film. And he just plays it so convincingly and so calm. And I'm so hyped for him to
Yeah.
be Green Lantern because after seeing that, I think he's like a perfect.
So do you think it was a good recommendation?
Yeah, it was good,
100%.
Marcus. Well
Yeah, it
done,
was
well
really
done.
good.
I
I
think
think
a good way we can do it is because I don't know if we didn't fully explain it, but basically every episode we're gonna pick a film that we're gonna watch before the next episode and kind of talk about it in a segment towards the end. And I think a good way we can do it is if we kind of take turns to recommend a film, which I mostly say because I have.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I
yeah.
thought we should take turns because that is
Yeah,
my film pick.
that was
Done, like,
because I was hoping I could go next because I kind of have a film in mind for next week because there's a film I really want to watch. You guys know Transformers 1?
Oh yeah.
Have you
oh
seen it?
yeah,
Have you seen it?
I've not seen it, and I haven't had an intention to go see it.
Yeah.
But if you're picking that, I'll.
Have you seen it, Marcus?
I actually haven't seen Transformers 1 though.
Okay, well apparently it's very, very, very good. So
I've seen clips of it. I think
I'm so excited to watch it, and I
It's the
was
animation one, isn't
waiting to watch it because I wanted to stay on the podcast and talk about it on the next episode.
Nice, yeah.
That's my pick for next week. I think we should watch Transformers 1 because it's a new.
all I
film.
know is that Chris Hemsworth. I think he voices Optimus Prime.
I was
so. He's
looking
in
at the
film, yeah.
cast.
It's
actually
gone really under the
crazy
radar,
cast.
but I've heard it's like really good.
Oh,
And
it's
it's
still
like-
out in cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a like a key cast like that, it's weird how little people are talking about it.
I
Chris
think that's a
Hemsworth.
lot of people have been saying like, oh, it had bad marketing
Oh, it's
and
got
stuff because
Scarlett Johansson as
a
well.
lot of people just hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, Keir Michael Key,
And I think a lot of
John
people just
Hamm,
assume it's like
Lawrence
some.
Fishburne.
I think people just assume it's like a kids film, but it's apparently it's just
I mean,
like
it does.
really.
It does very much look like.
It looks like a kids film because it's
No,
Transformers.
it does
and it's
definitely. I mean, it is literally.
But I've heard it's like
cartoon
the
version,
best
but
Transformers film, and
Can't lie.
people. I
cartoons
want
have-
animation to get over the stigma of like all animation is for kids. Because now we've got anime, we've got Into Spider-Verse. There's so many great animated films, and
I mean,
I
if
think,
anyone asks that, just I guess show them the first page of Berserk.
oh yeah, that's
I
definitely.
mean, it's not animation, but
Yeah.
I would agree with you though, Kieran. And not to like, I feel bad because Marcus hasn't finished it, but I do think the second.
He should have watched it. It was his pick. He
Yeah.
picked it.
Yeah,
no, I
true.
know, I know.
It's his fault.
The
Kieran,
latter
you haven't
half.
finished it though.
I have finished it.
You said you didn't finish it.
No, I didn't finish it last night. I just finished it like this just now.
I think the latter half of the film is quite a big letdown. I think particularly like I can give excuses to the second act maybe.
Yeah.
Because I
agree,
think
yeah,
it
I
still has
agree.
some good stuff and it's like setting up stuff. But I really do think the third act and the conclusion.
I didn't. I think the middle was
let it down.
the
quite
second
a
act
bit.
was the kind of I got a bit bored, but then like I do think the final fights were really cool.
Yeah, I think the action
and
choreography is
it was
sick.
weird how it came together as
Um,
like the good police outweighed the bad police at the end.
That I think that's
message.
one of the really big things that I didn't like about it.
Yeah, it felt very strange.
Like
It's
they set up such a strong narrative in the first half, and such a very kind of personally I would say like a kind of like politically and like a sociologically like really interesting theme, and a really bold thing for like a mainstream film, and they kind of copped out in like the third act a bit with the police kind of suddenly, I'm not spoil it, but like
but you can
like
spoil it.
I mean with the police kind of like, or at least partially the police kind of turning good, or
yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure Kim told me something about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
I just think
it was a good film though. I would I haven't
really
rated it
excellent
yet,
film. I think the first half particularly was
the first half was really good. It set it all up so well,
incredible writing,
and it really
especially
builds the like you just get so annoyed at the police and you just want him to get.
oh my
And that one scene is so cool where he finally approaches the sheriff and he's like, do you know what my job is? And he's like, I'm actually fucking sick. And then he like he just gets one over on everyone. It's very cool.
Right. It's
next
he's
film,
just
John
such a
Wick
cool
4. John Wick 4's next.
I'm not looking forward to that. I don't like John Wick.
I didn't realize that was John Wick 4.
No, yeah, that was out.
I'm trying to think if I've seen it
as well.
I mean,
big into action
movies at
films
cinema.
usually.
Oh, 100%. I think I'm also with you. I'm not a big action guy, and I think maybe that's where it like lost me as well.
Yeah,
like
but I can appreciate good action but it has to be complemented by a good story. You know.
Well, what did you think of? Have you guys seen the film Nobody?
Yeah, I loved Nobody. I thought Nobody.
I haven't seen Nobody.
Nobody was
really
number
like
2.
Nobody.
Nobody's getting
Bob
a second
Odenkirk
film as well.
Yeah.
I think seeing Bob, it was just John Wick, but it's Bob Odenkirk, and I just thought
well, that's why I thought like maybe you would like it because
I
didn't.
I haven't
seen.
I love
the second one.
I literally I only gave because I never wanted to watch John Wick, and I watched it because I liked Nobody so much, and I thought Nobody was better in my opinion. I preferred.
Well, John Wick's good, but like I feel like
John Wick is the go. It's like if it's like
like
just action and it's like the best action, but like for me, I just don't like films that are just action. Like
that's
I need
what I mean. You need to really like that genre.
But that's just my personal like I prefer, but like some people do, and like what we were talking about earlier, where sometimes it's just nice to watch like a fun film. You don't have to think about it. It's cool guy beats people up and gets revenge. It's just
I think I like Nobody because it just like it kind of throws you off.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like you think it's like it goes like one way, and you're like, oh, okay, this is right, and then it just like switches up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And obviously, Luke, I don't know if you knew, but what's his dad's name again?
They got Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, isn't it?
Oh, nice. No, I haven't watched Nobody. I think I'm also like not a huge action fan, and would probably like not go out of my way to watch an action film. But I was glad that I watched Rebel Riding because
Rebel Ridge.
Because it was like I think it was a bit less surface level than some of the other action films like are sometimes. Like I think John Wick, like as you said about John Wick, it is just like it's just kind of like the ultimate formula of like an action film.
Yeah, literally.
Which is like really good if you like action.
It's like a perfect action film. It's just like you have to like action enough to just watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. That's my personal take on it. Maybe I need to give the other ones a chance because a lot of people do. People love John Wick. I mean, it is a good film. But, we are coming up to the end of our time, and I wanted to squeeze some in before we go because I prepared a movie news segment which I didn't get to do last time, but I kind of want to push through this time and see if I can get out my little movie news segment tryout. If that's okay with you guys,
yeah, go for it.
So I've got movie news. I'm gonna go through it. It's like my news segment. Okay, right. So the first one is Greta Gerwig has reportedly pushed for an IMAX release for her Netflix Narnia movie, which is kind of a big deal because we don't really get cinema releases for Netflix original films.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah,
they only release a Netflix film to the cinema so it can be eligible for the Oscars. Really,
so it can be eligible. Yeah, that's really
if
interesting.
this happens, this could be the first case of getting a.
That's really interesting, and I think that would be good because, I mean, obviously, like, there's value to like the Netflix films, because, like, I mean, and this film was a Netflix film, like Rebel.
It's got some good. There's some brilliant Netflix films.
Like,
there's also some terrible ones, but
I mean, I think there's yeah. But I do really like the idea of Netflix films being more like cinema,
especially if it's Narnia. Like, you've got, I feel like seeing a Narnia film. There's some big Narnia fans out there, surely. That would love.
I mean, and
it's Greg Gerwig.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, a name like that is who would be the person to like be able to kind of push for that to happen, because, like, with a lot of these directors, they just don't have the the notoriety, and that's kind of why they're having to make films that just go on Netflix. But when you get a big name like director like that, probably the most successful current female director working right now, or definitely, I would say, actually, like, at the moment,
I
like,
want to
that has the ability to push it.
I want to push through the rest of my news because I want to get through them before we end the episode. So, Terrifier 3 has passed a new box office milestone, and it's become the highest grossing unrated movie in history. It's been doing really well recently. There was a lot that came out when Terrifier 3 came out where people were like throwing up and leaving the cinema.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had a budget of 2 million and it's now grossed 55 million. So it's just past.
Did you see it?
I haven't yet. I haven't seen the first couple, but I do really want to see it. But it's just past the Beyonce concert film which grossed 43 million. It's now the highest grossing unrated film of all time, which is pretty cool. The final one I have, which is my favorite and most interesting one for me, is director Edgar Wright and Scott Pilgrim star Michael Cera have reunited after 14 years in the new Stephen King remake. They're doing a Stephen King film together.
That's
very cool. It's called The Running Man. And yeah, it's about a dystopian world where criminals are inducted into television shows where they are hunted down for entertainment. It's going to have Glenn Powell, Katie O'Brien.
That sounds quite cool.
Yeah, and it's going to have Michael Cera back with Edgar Wright for the first time since Scott Pilgrim, which is one of my favorite films.
Awesome.
Which that was my final news topic. In hindsight, maybe me rushing through the news at the end isn't a good idea because we kind of want to talk about each of them a bit more. But
100%, yeah.
I was testing it out and we didn't have much time left. But those are my weekly news film topics that I have written down.
Well, I wanted to ask one thing, yeah.
Yeah. We'll probably end it after this because I was
going to say
something interesting.
Well, I was just wanting to get your opinion on the new Harry Potter TV show series and how it's actually and it's made by the creators of Succession.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's why
is it?
I wasn't.
Damn. I mean,
I wasn't that interested.
I'm so conflicted on the Harry Potter because I love Harry Potter more than anything, but then it's like it's quite. I mean, it's been executive produced by J.K. Rowling, she's
like
not
it's actually crazy how she's just
at the moment.
She's just keeping Harry Potter hostage.
I know.
We'll not let it go.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I wanted to get your opinion because I know, Kieran, you love Succession, but it's actually
not as much as Luke. But I do love.
Both of you do, but
Succession is good.
Francesca Gardner, who was the writer, and Mark Mylod have signed up as its writer and director for the new Harry Potter series.
I mean, that's very exciting.
That's very cool.
Do you think that'll make it better, or like?
I think it's going to be good anyway. I think I don't know. You can't
you
can't mess up Harry Potter. Harry Potter is incredible. It's just.
But I do think
they shouldn't. I don't know. It's just hard, and I've heard like lots of really cool things from it. Like
they need the original cast.
Gary Oldman said he would come back to it if he got to play Dumbledore, which would be very interesting casting. I think.
I mean,
I think Gary Oldman would be a very good Dumbledore.
Yeah.
What is Sirius Black?
Sirius Black, yeah.
That would be interesting. To be fair.
It's
But, like,
interesting. I'm gonna watch it. I think.
Oh, I'm 100%
Realistically, it's Harry
watching
Potter.
it regardless. Don't get me wrong. I love
But
Harry
it's
Potter.
just hard to support it and like be excited about it because of like.
I just don't know how I'm gonna watch it without seeing like Daniel Radcliffe and like just everyone. Like,
Yeah,
how
and it's
Well,
weird. I
many-
think they made the wrong decision to remake it because, like, I just think it's
They should
perfect
have
how it
added on
is,
onto
and
the
it's such an
side stories.
interesting universe and it's got such.
you know,
There's so many other like TV shows or films they could have done, like one about
I
the
kind of-
founders, one about the Marauders.
Yeah,
I
the
think
founders are
to a
really
certain
interesting.
extent-
Mordors.
I think to a certain extent that's true. I think that they have only really scratched the surface of like the Harry Potter universe. Within those like original films, but I don't think I'm as anti it as you are. I mean, I'm anti it for the J.K. Rowling of it all, but but like I don't know if doing a long form TV series of those books is that bad of an idea.
I don't
because
think it's
they
a bad
did this
idea because
so much
No,
out of those
I think
original
so
films.
much. It's not the original.
Like-
It's the first couple of films were like pretty good because they were shorter books. But when it got to like
Yeah.
the last few, I mean, the last two were good because they did split it into two parts.
Yeah.
But like Half-Blood Prince is my favorite book and my least favorite film. Like so the book
Well, I
is
mean,
so
Half
good
Blood
and
Prince, the film is just not the book.
And Goblet of
It's
Fire is
like
like
they're two different books.
sick in
Yeah.
the book.
Two different like stories. I mean, obviously they follow the same story, but like the Half Blood Prince book is like probably the most like lore heavy book, and you just get none of that from the film, really.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's
like,
why.
so I think
Literally,
if
it's
you
'cause
had
they have
a
so
whole
much
season of the
backstory
Half
in
Blood
it.
Prince,
Yeah,
if
that
you had
would
a
be
whole season
incredible.
of the Half Blood Prince, that's where I think it has.
Also, I want to see Peeves. I want to see Ludo Bagman. I want to see Winky.
Yeah. What we don't really understand because we grew up on those films is like kids like younger than us, like the ages we would be when we would have been when those films came out or when we were like watching those films, like have no concept of those films, and they're kind of like outdated now to like that new generation. So I think, you know,
I
giving
guess
that
it's good.
universe a revival and refreshing it a bit is a good thing. I think just every time I watch an episode, I'll chip in a bit of money to a trans charity.
Yeah, to be honest, that is the worst bit.
But if they better not
clear
fuck
my
it up. Though.
conscience.
They better
Well,
not-
apparently
they better not
the
fuck it up,
actors
though.
must be between the ages of 9 and 11.
Yeah, they did. I quite like that they did open casting again, just like
Yeah, I really like that.
That's
I
how
think-
they found the. I think a lot of the original.
And if they're getting Succession veterans to show,
No, they are.
then
Yeah,
that's very confidence inducing in terms of
yeah,
like long form
Oh.
storytelling throughout TV, because those guys know
it's
how
so
to start
sad that they fuck it up though.
well,
Like I was quite excited
apparently-
for the Percy Jackson remake, and I ended up just watching a couple episodes.
Yeah, but I think that's different. I think this will be like
Harry Potter's a lot bigger.
more akin to like Game of Thrones, you know.
Well, what I've been
Like I mean,
told-
not in like
believe-
theme, obviously, but like
Yeah.
in attention to detail and budget.
Yeah.
You know, like this will be like a proper.
Yeah.
No,
like,
it's
pop
meant to
series
be.
TV
Like the
show.
news says here that it's going to consist of 7 novels, but the project would run for 10 consecutive years.
Damn.
See, to
which
me,
would
that's just
seem-
brilliant because that gives like a whole year and a half to Half Blood Prince. You know,
So it's
for
probably going to
example.
be 7 seasons, I reckon, maybe 8. I don't know, but like for 10 consecutive years is a long time for like that's like Game of Thrones time. Like,
Well, exactly, and
so
I
it
was
will
even
be
thinking,
like per book it's 1 season, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. to be
and
honest.
you can have like episodes where it's just, or like even 2-parter episodes where it's just like a prequel episode to like I don't know, like a Sirius Black origin story or something.
No, definitely.
Like,
I think
There's
they're
so much
definitely gonna have
potential
to
there, and then you
expand
can get like
on
the
a lot.
Meraldas and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
which
I
could be
mean-
really cool. Actually, it just depends
I
how they
think-
do it.
we'll always have like an instinctual like nostalgia for the
Yeah.
first like original
Oh,
films. But I
I'm
think
never
was
going
like
to lose that
the-
nostalgia.
Nothing.
breathing
is-
new life into it is
Literally,
I think
nothing
it's not a
can
bad idea.
actually beat that nostalgia for me. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
music.
as
to,
a,
like-
as a kid, it was my favorite.
Nah,
thing in the
honestly,
world.
like when
That
I
and
hear the
Doctor Who.
music, it genuinely gives me shivers. Still,
Yeah.
like the music
Yeah,
is
literally.
just genuinely.
I could
perfect.
tear up just from listening.
Like
to the,
honestly, it's just
Hagrid's
everything
theme.
about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
John
I'm just a
Williams,
massive fan,
obviously.
but like, it's
yeah,
just great. like they perfected it. But I am really interested to see firstly the camera work. Like I'm excited to see how different it's going to be because of obviously, I mean, 2025 they're using modern day cameras with modern day CGI.
Oh my god! I mean that was
it could be sick.
That was a lot of the limits of like the original films, particularly the first,
like the green screen stuff,
like
or Quidditch.
It just like wasn't there yet, but now, oh my god!
Like they still did a great job.
But then a lot of the stuff nowadays looks worse. And like look at Doctor Who, the recent season of Doctor Who. I think they have way more money, but they look worse than like the crappy like.
I honestly think we've got to a point in CGI where they can just kind of decide how good it looks, and that decision is normally based.
I feel like they know they need to fix this. They can't ruin this. If they ruin it, it's ruined for the whole show, basically. Like
there is some like of the most incredible CGI that we've got right now, but also we have some of the worst CGI that we've got.
Think of a lot of films that have great CGI. To be fair,
you know what? I was talking to my brother about Secret Wars, and he doesn't really know. Like he's not keyed into like the MCU. I mean, I'm not particularly either, but like I've kind of been following the Secret Wars news just to see how much of a shit. Yeah, I know. I'm like, hey, I'm like,
we talk about all the time, bro. We talk about all the time.
I'm
all right, Luke. You don't have to be ashamed, man. A lot of people love the MCU.
I'm like a closeted MCU. I don't
it's like a dirty truth of yours, you know. It's a dirty pleasure.
Yeah. I'll admit, I love the MCU.
He was
how can you not love the MCU, man? Like, I mean, I get like maybe they might ruin it, but like the MCU in a whole, like it's just I think sick, bro.
I love it in a way where I respect it a lot, but I also like. I just
it's just genius. It's genius.
I think it has so much more potential than.
100%.
Seeing some of these films in the cinema have been some of the greatest experiences of my life, which is kind of sad. But...
Endgame was like honestly, Infinity War.
I can't remember being like more excited. Like before No Way Home, that might have been the most excited I've ever
No Way
been
Home was because obviously that, but that was mainly because of like nostalgia. Not like like I mean not knowing, but like basically knowing, but like hoping at the same time. But it's like the amount of publicity like Infinity War and Endgame got is like I don't think you would ever get films that are like close to that really. Like that's just like crazy. Like everyone was talking about it. Even on buses. Like I remember on a bus the next day after Infinity War, which I would never hear anyone talk about films, but on the bus all I would just hear just people talking about the film and like spoilers and stuff, and it's just like that just shows how big it is.
We should do an MCU episode.
I think we should do a dedicated MCU.
Well, I mean, I think we'll
go through like everything about it.
Before we do it, we should rewatch every MCU film and TV show in existence, and then we'll do an episode.
I will admit, I do like the MCU to some degree. I could.
We'll watch a select few. We'll watch Endgame. And then
I mean, if we're gonna do a full episode, it means you love the MCU. Like,
okay. All right. Well, we've already ran quite far over our time. We can talk about this another time. But it was nice talking to you guys. This was a fun episode. We just got to talk about films and Transformers 1 before next week, Marcus. Anyway, yes, it was nice talking to you guys. I think we might have a guest in the next episode, right? Do you think it's time for us to have our first guest on? Okay, guys. So thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next time.